Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Let's get this party started, y'all. We've been diving into different marketing tips and strategies for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, organizations, events, and today we're gonna dive into email automations. So, if you aren't using automations, you're probably spending a lot of time doing things manually, doing it yourself, or having someone do it, and then you may be running into a few errors here and there, forgetting to follow up. So that's what we're going to talk about today, because if you have a business, if you have an event, an organization that you're leading, you have a brand that you're putting out missions and events for, email automations will help you tremendously. All right. So we're going to dive into it today. And I just thank God for what he's doing. I just thank God for all of this insight, this wisdom, because as you have an assignment on your life, your business, that product that is on your heart, that product that you're not even, you haven't even pushed it out. You haven't even put it on clothes, whatever it is. You haven't even pushed it out, but this is your sign to get going. Whatever God has told you to do, whatever service or industry that God has you in, maximize on it, because we need the kingdom entrepreneurs and business owners to get out there, get our voice out there, get our product and our services out there to give him all the glory. So I'm here to share with you just tips that you may be using or you just may not be using, and we're going to get it together. All right. So 2025, we got good vibes. We got focus and intentionality on our brain. We're going to be obedient. So we want to be great stewards of what we got. And the best way to do it is to make sure that the people that are looking for what we do, the service that we provide, the product or an event that you're putting on, that whoever is looking for you can actually see and find you. Like, increasing the visibility of what you have to offer is the ultimate mission when it comes to entrepreneurship and business. Okay. So there's a few benefits when it comes to having email automations, because just by default, if you don't have it, you're probably, having to take out a time where you're, reviewing your emails. You may be going throughout your day, you're doing business, you're doing the daily things that needs to be taken care of. But emails, you may skim through, right? You may see them. You may have someone that you need to send out an email to, partnerships or a client or a teammate or staff that you need to stay in communication with. And you may not get to it until maybe the end of your day, or just maybe have it a short period of time, maybe throughout that lunch break or whatever, in between business, to really send out messages and stay in communication. But I know a lot of times, if you have clients that have supported you and have done business with you, you want to make sure that they know that you actually care, and that they know that you are still doing what you do, and if not better, right? So we don't want to spend too much time away from the priority of the day-to-day, because we have to set the time aside for the email automations and responding to, any DMs or comments and things like that, because automations are here to help. Okay. So one of the benefits is that it saves time. So if you have email automations, imagine having the emails work in the background 24/7. And it's freeing up your time to do the planning, the logistics of your business, mapping out, planning to do any marketing or outreach with your local community, right? You're able to do that while your automations are working behind the scenes. Okay. So having the email automation, it just saves you time. It'll free up from just doing the repetitive tasks, right? Because if you're constantly having to check your email, you're trying to respond, you need to send out to reach any teammates, clients, whatever, this will save you time. Okay. And it does it automatically, so you don't have to worry about it, right? You don't have to just set a reminder, or even if you set a reminder, you might hit snooze and then you're just going to keep going about your day. Okay. So having an email automation will help you stay in communication with whoever it is that you are in, clientele and teammates. Okay. So along with that, having a solid communication builds a lot of rapport. It builds trust. So if you don't have an automation of email threads or communication lines where your community, your audience is constantly hearing from you, you're probably going to fade into the background. So whatever business you have, like, how are you marketing yourself? How are your audience actually hearing from you? Is it only when you remember to call them? Is it only when you remember to shoot them a text? Is it only when you have a new product or service and you reach out to say, hey, we got this going on, come get X, Y, and Z, right? No, it builds the constant communication for you and your relationships, right? So you don't have to, set the reminders. You will stay on top of people's minds when you have the email automations. Okay, so people check their email. Don't sleep on it, y'all. Okay, people still check their email because the most important things come through where? Sometimes the email. Okay, you're gonna be looking for that email, whether it's a promotion, whether it's a job, whether it's a document, whatever it is, legal, state, federal, grants. They come where? They come through the emails. So people check their emails, and you need to also be in the emails. Okay? So email automations, when you have any business, we talked about, there was a topic that I've also mentioned about systems, organizer, processes. Okay? It's called SOPs. So if you have a business, if you're looking to launch a business, which I pray a lot of you are, if you have an assignment that God is telling you to do, you need to launch it, right? I just came out of a launch conference. Shout out to Vernisha T. Green, okay? But all about business owners and entrepreneurs, if you're looking to start a business, you need to have systems in place to make sure that the processes and just the experience is smooth. So when it comes to whatever business idea, say you are a photographer, right? And you want to do weddings, you want to catch people birthdays, you should have a system in place that will actually get your service and products out there, which is called like lead magnets. You want to get things to draw people in who are looking for what you do. You will give them whatever it is that you can offer to them of value. You will give it to them. You'll communicate, and then have a system that will carry them through from A to Z, right? And when you have the email automation, it tags team with your system. So it's not like you having to say, oh, I got someone that was interested in my product or my service. Let me reach out to them. Let me go remind myself to, nurture and communicate and see what they actually need. The email automation will lock arms with you. So as soon as people come on board of saying, hey, I'm interested, the email automations will send emails on a however frequently you want to do it. You can send emails every week. You can send emails bi-weekly. But guess what? It's not like you sitting behind your laptop or sitting behind your phone. It's an automated system where it would just put people in that automated emails thread, okay? So that will improve your customer's experience or even a team experience. If you're looking to hire new people, people like to know what's next. People like to know what to expect. People like to know that if I need to contact you, I can reach out to you because I see you in my email and then I know I can respond to you, right? So if you don't have this stuff, it's kind of like people can, oh, well, let me give her a call or let me send a text. An email is just sometimes better. Your audience, you got to figure out what your audience preferred communication is. But emails is a good foundation. It's a great start. Okay, because some people may be too busy to be on the phone and they would just prefer text. Some people say, I'm old school, I just like call me, I don't got time to be texting. Or shoot me an email. I know I would see it because it comes through my phone, X, Y, and Z, right? So your audience should be able to go through a smooth experience. When they want to buy, when they want to register for an event, when they see an event and they want to come, they should be reminded about that thing every week. You know what I mean? Building up the momentum, getting them excited again, like something caught their eye. And you don't want to lose that momentum. If you're taking time to market, you put in newspaper, whatever it is. If you got newspapers, you doing stuff in the community, you got your stuff out there, You're doing work to do that. So don't forget or neglect the emails that follow up behind that, because the customer experience doesn't end just when they say, oh, I'm interested. No, the work is just beginning, right? It has just begun. So the email automations will help to carry the people through until they get exactly what they came for. Okay. So ultimately, what would that do, right? If you have a nurturing email automations, well, whether it's an email welcome sequence, right, for new subscribers, new supporters, and new volunteers, you should have an email automation simply just for new subscribers, simply for new people who could be new customers, new clientele. You have the opportunity to create different email workflows, which is automated emails that will nurture them and talk to them. You customize each one, right? It's not like you just sitting, letting it just kind of be like fluke. No, you're able to take the time, put your personality and your heart, the information and the value into these emails. And then it's just sending out to them on a time schedule. It's scheduled. They're going to hear about it. They're going to be reminded about it. They're going to know, oh, they can do X, Y, and Z with your product. They're going to know, oh, if I join this business, I get X, Y, and Z benefits, right? That's good. Like, you have to understand this as a business owner, because if you're not, you could be doing it wrong. You could be doing things, doing things backwards. You could be working backwards if you're taking so much time to get people in, and then they just dwindle away because they're not being in constant communication. All right. So all in all, you increase and, enhance someone's experience with you. That's a conversion rate. Okay. They're going to buy, they're going to join. You be like, you got me. I love it here. You have the opportunity to increase your conversion rates, right? You get people in. Okay. How many people are staying? How many people are referring? How many people still know that you do what you do? When's the last time you talked with your clientele? That stuff is important. And you may not be able to, you can't call everybody every day. Family member, you be like, dang, I'm bad with phones. I'm guilty. But with emails in business, you can send that professional. You can send that happy birthday. You can send that happy holidays. You can send those things automatically, right? There's softwares that can help you really organize clientele as you build up, whether you're starting from zero. If you don't have no clientele, if you don't have no team, if you don't have no staff, if you haven't even launched your first event, you still can have these systems in place. You still can create an automated email workflow, a welcome sequence. If you don't got nobody, you better create a welcome sequence. So when people start coming in, they get a welcome email. They start to hear more about what you do. They start to hear more about your heart. They start to hear about how you can benefit them, what free things you have going on, what things they can really benefit from, right? Create this stuff. This is how you can properly market along with whatever you're doing, by hand, manually. You're out and about networking. That's great. But have the email automation working behind the scenes too. That's a great way. And then we already know social media speaks for itself. That was another topic I've talked about before. Social media is a great way, right, to really build a business. That constant, they're going to see you now. They're going to see your face. They're going to hear your voice. They've been seeing your emails. Just stay on top of people's mind, right? And your conversions, your revenue, your money. Yeah. You got to be profitable with business. We all know that. You don't go in business to own nothing. Okay. So what you got is of value and people are looking for you. You just need to be able to not only draw the people in that are looking for what you do, but know how to communicate and stay on top of their minds, right? And ultimately just build a relationship. Okay. So it just nurtures your clients, your leads, anything. They are nurtured automatically. Okay. So of course, building that trust by delivering your value, your content through a drip sequence. It's just drip. You don't got to flood the gates of everything that email. Then you probably, you don't want to do that. You can drip. Email here, email there, remind you, yes, we're still here. Yes, we're still in business. Yes, you can still call us. Yes, you can send referrals, right? Especially for those people who have already done business with you. You know, they can definitely send referrals your way. Okay. So email automations will reduce the human error. Okay. Human error. All right. So if you're juggling so many things, you can be overwhelmed. There can be brain fatigue. You're human and you have limits. Okay. So having that email automation can reduce the human error of not following up, of not, really even responding to an email. Automations, there are softwares that have an opportunity where AI is able to even respond to certain messages and direct messages and things like that. But in regards to emails, the automations will help you to really eliminate any errors or forgetting to contact or follow up with that person, or even letting your client know what they're able to do with the service or product, or what to expect. Okay. Imagine having your new hire, you set out your whole system, and when people are hired to your team and your job, they already know what they are expected to do. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. Oh, my daughter just brought me some flowers. Thank you. Mwah. You're the best. You're the best in the world. Okay. The seventh one, okay? It allows for you to really target whatever audience you have. Like I mentioned, whether they're a new subscriber, whether they are, your team, whatever their interests are, whatever your audience likes or needs at that moment, you can create different email automation to really, solve their problem, talk to what they need, bring value to whatever it is that they're searching for. Yeah, Lexi Boo. My flower girl. So the eighth thing that is beneficial with email automations, you're able to scale your business. Okay. Scaling your business, basically reviewing what's working, what's not. All right. How many teammates did you start with? How many do you end up with? How many clients did you start with now? How many clients are still here, showing up, right? And you're able to scale that business because you're in constant communication and you know who is still active, who is still engaging, right? You can see who opens emails sometimes. You can see, those who are responding to you, That's a great way to have that internal, communication. Right? You plan on having a business, you gotta have these things in place. All right. So scaling is super important. I talk about that also. And then ultimately it increases your engagement. So as you stay in communication, when you have an event, you think it's more likely for them to show up and get registered or even share that event if they have been hearing from you already. And then you drop that banger. Then you drop that product. Then you drop that service. Like, okay, we got a new feature. We got a new thing that we're able to help you with. We got some new merch. We got some shirts. We got some hats, right? It will boost your engagement. Okay. And you want to engage. You want to engage with people. People love the community. People like to be, included, right? So you have your own community. People are looking for what you do. They're looking not just for what you do, but who you are, right? People buy your personality. So sometimes people just join just because of, I like how she talks. She real, I like how she just has a nice way of saying things. It could just be your voice. It could be your smile. It could be the fact that you just wore some denim today. They'd be like, oh, you just never know. So you want to stay on top of people's mind, okay? So you don't want to let your leads grow cold, Customers don't want to only hear from you when you're selling, okay? You don't want to do that. You don't want to just reach out to somebody when you're trying to get an event booked out or things like that. You don't want to waste hours, sending repetitive emails. You got the same message, but you got maybe like 10 to 20 people that you need to send it to. You don't want to have to do that repetitively, especially when your clientele grows. You know, you don't want to spend that time sending the same email over and over and over again. That's what email automations are for. All right. And there's softwares out here that you can get this and it helps you tremendously. All right. So you continue to build that trust and consistency. Okay. So you want to think about this too. This is a tip. So when you're creating emails, you want to find subject lines that will grab people's attention. That's the first thing they see. You know, you want to have an email subject line that will be most likely opened, right? You know, because you have emails, you scroll through them, but some things catch your attention. They're like, oh, we drafted your, you know, something's going to catch your attention. If you say, overdue balance or your great $10,000 reward, something is going to catch your attention. Okay. So having these type of subject lines, a great giveaway just for you, right? Whatever it is, find those subject lines that will most likely be open. All right. People want to know what's going on. Hold on. You said what? Yeah. So they'll look into it. So that's a tip when it comes to emails. You want to be authentic. You want to have a personality with your emails. You can show your personality, you know. You don't have to always be so professional, you know, type of thing. And not too professional, but you can let your hair down a bit. Let people know that you have a heart, you care, and you're still professional and get things done. All right. So subject lines matter. Subject lines matter. And when it does for your business, by nurturing your leads, delivering value, and drives traffic to your offers, your website, or your booking page. So even if you know, just found someone that you were connecting with maybe at a speaking engagement, right? Or even at a networking event, if you have their name and email, you can drive them to your social media through emails. You can drive people to your website or even your booking or landing page through emails. You can do that. So that's a way to really leverage emails and automations too, because even if you just have an email, it's like, yeah, you can find me on social media. You can find me on my website. You can find me on this booking page if you're looking to, you know, set a time up for us to talk, right? So a tip, I'm going to leave you guys with a tip and a call to action to do. Something that you should implement is to write out one evergreen welcome sequence that every new client would receive, or even a new hire. What would your email automation workflow sound like? What's the first email that they will see? What's the following email that they will see? What will it say? What should they expect? Right? If your new hire is, okay, congratulations, you've been accepted for the position. Look forward to hearing from you. And if it's the next day, here's the orientation information. We're going to log in on Zoom, or you're going to meet us here at X, Y, and Z. What is the sequence? What is the automation workflow? And what is the order of process of order? What's the order? Okay. Got to have that structure and got to have that order. Okay. So I challenge y'all to do that. So for not just your staff or, you know, your team, but for your clientele, of course, for sure. So 2 evergreen welcome sequence. Like when people come on board, what are they getting when they get your product? You know, are they getting any invoices? Are they getting a follow-up? Are you checking in to see how everything's been going with the product? Are they looking for something else? Were they satisfied? You know, emails actually can help with getting reviews and feedback also, right? That's that communication when you can say, you know, I appreciate your time. You know, do you mind giving me some honest feedback? You need to have reviews too. So emails can help lead people to really send those reviews, and even, you know, asking for referrals through emails also. Okay, so that is the homework or the takeaway to implement. Okay, is to create 2 email sequences, one for a staff and one for your client. Not just when they come on board and not just when they purchase, but after the fact. Create all the way to follow up. Okay. So just remember, if you don't stay in constant communication, the trust can, you know, subside a bit. You don't want to lose visibility, and you don't want people to forget about you. And you know, you want to stay visible. You want to make sure that people know that you're still doing what you're doing. All right. So create those email workflows and those sequences, you guys. Push out your brand, push out your business, push out your products and your services so that the people that are called to you will get what you're able to offer them. All right. So until next time, y'all have an amazing day and market your business and your brand. All right. See y'all next time.